Welcome to Biff's Mystery Theater. I have many tales to tell you. Ghost stories, murder stories, and tales that will make your bones chill. Join me, won't you? For Theater of the Mind, where you always have the best seat in the house. Now close your eyes and turn off the lights.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, missionary from the world of the mysterious and the macabre. Things would be better all around, easier certainly, if evil looked evil, sounded evil, smelled evil. Good and evil. It's reached a point where these days, to so many people, they appear to be so much alike. Our mystery drama, The Moonlighter, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Howard Da Silva. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Way back in 1876, it was brewed and aged to deliver a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability found in no other beer at any price. I'm talking about Budweiser. And it's still brewed that way today, with pride, without compromise, to be the king of beers. The largest selling beer in the history of the world, for one simple reason, that Beechwood-aged Budweiser taste. And that speaks for itself. Hear it talking?
When you say Bud, you say you care enough to only want the king of beer. There is no other one. There's only something left. Because the king of beer is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what you got?
What's for Thanksgiving dinner? Your ShopRite supermarket has the answer. Start with turkey. ShopRite Young Grade A Tom, 16 to 24 pounds, 57 cents a pound. Or hens, 10 to 14 pounds, 63 cents a pound. Serve with ShopRite cauliflower or broccoli spears, just 99 cents for 4 10-ounce packages. And ShopRite jellied cranberry sauce, of course, 3 1-pound cans for 89 cents. For dessert, ShopRite premium quality Elizabeth York ice cream, 1/2 gallon for $1.39. Start a family tradition. Shop ShopRite for value.
She wants the best. She does all that she can do. She lets ShopRite do the rest. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? ShopRite has the answer.
Hey, skiers, get ready for the ski show, Expo Winter 75. This year, the focus is on the great ski bargain hunt, the best thing that ever happened to your ski budget. Plus a dozen different shows with champion freestylers, films and fashions, trips and tickets, and equipment displays for first-timers to hot doggers. Après Ski meet you at the brewery for music and mixing at the ski show, Expo Winter 75.
Take someone you like to the ski show opening Thursday at 6 at the New York Coliseum.
There is so much talk these days about the quality of life and how it's gone down. I'm not prepared to argue the point one way or another, but one thing I admit has certainly gone down, and that's the quality of argument, especially between husbands and wives. It seems to me that husbands and wives used to have heated, passionate arguments over great emotional issues, love, faithfulness, even sex. Today, it's mostly been reduced to ill-tempered spats and tantrums over money. Oh, is this our brave new world? Is this what it all comes down to? Well, Stanley and Gladys Morrison are at it again.
Well, what answer do you get?
I don't know. I've added it 3 times, and it keeps coming out differently.
Well, how can you concentrate on the figures with that damn recording blaring in your ears?
It is not a damn recording. It is Mozart.
I have to know how many checks you wrote this week.
Performed by the Boston Symphony.
I'd add it up myself, but I can't read your handwriting.
And what's his name is conducting.
You went to the most expensive girls' private school. You went to the most exclusive girls' college.
Darling, you've got it twisted. The private school was exclusive. The college was expensive.
Didn't they teach you to write?
Stanley, why do you become so excited about money?
Gladys, I don't want the account to be overdrawn.
Your cheeks are all flushed. Your eyes are filled with fire. It's almost a sexual thing.
Gladys, listen to me.
But I've been listening, darling. And I have solved the problem. You don't want the checking account to be overdrawn? Well, let's just put in an extra $100 now and then to act as a sort of cushion.
In the first place, it's wrong. In the second place, I don't have an extra $100.
Oh, darling, you say that as if $100 is a fortune. I never heard you fuss like this over $100 before.
Gladys, we have to cut down.
Well, I do my best, darling.
Okay. I guess it's not fair.
No, it certainly isn't.
You were brought up a rich girl. You never learned how to worry about money.
Well, darling, it did seem silly to worry about money. After all, there was so much of it.
And when you married me, I was making plenty of money, huh?
And you still are.
No, I'm not making that much anymore.
Stanley, do you mean you received a cut in salary?
No.
Well, then how can you say you're not making as much money?
Because the money isn't worth as much. We simply have to economize.
All right, I'm willing.
We have to sit down and draw up an entire list of ways to save money.
Okay, here's one. At the club, I won't order from the a la carte menu. I'll just have a sandwich and coffee.
What we should do is resign from the club.
What?
It's become very expensive.
Stanley, why suddenly? Are we... Well, is everything so tight?
I don't know, Gladys. Things have been going up, steadily, quietly, and one day you turn around and there just isn't enough money.
Why don't you ask for a raise?
A raise? Do you realize that...
I realize that you're not getting paid what you're worth.
I'm not sure this is the right time.
All you have to say is, look, I must be paid more money. The dollar is worth only 57 cents now.
Oh, come on, Gladys.
That's what you told me it was worth. Say, look here, Chris. I have to resign from the country club. Take my daughter out of private school.
I can assure you that Chris Delavan couldn't care less whether I belong to a country club or send my daughter
I'm sure he does. That's the sort of man he needs. A man who travels in the kind of circles where he can meet potential customers.
Gladys, you should never ask your boss for a raise if you're not prepared to quit.
I know that.
Then you know I couldn't afford to quit.
I suppose not.
What does that mean?
Stanley, the minister said for richer, for poorer. I really wasn't paying much attention.
I'm sorry. It's the state of the economy.
No, I think it's the state of your mind. You are the most important man in that company.
Well, not really.
Why don't you ask for a raise?
I told you.
You didn't tell me the real reason. You're afraid.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Darling, this argument has lasted 6 minutes. If it goes on much longer, it will become a quarrel, then a conflict, which will lead to a rupture. And before we know it...
All right. I'll see what I can do.
I know you will, Stanley, darling.
Chris, got a minute?
Sure thing, boy. What's on your mind, Stanley?
Well,
Just a second. Wow.
What's the matter, Chris?
Oh, I'm beat. I need some coffee. You want a cup?
Okay.
Sally, bring in 2 coffees. Well, my boy, what can I do for you?
Chris,
it seems to me
Yeah,
that...
just a second. Sally, make mine black. Yeah, sure, Miss Louise. This one has to be told everything at least 400 times. Martha, that's my problem. What's your problem?
Well...
Hold it. How you want your coffee?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Stanley, you're so easygoing.
Well, not anymore.
I wish I had your temperament, especially last night. Oh, that was a session.
Well, Chris, I simply...
I really blew my stack last night, Stanley, and I guess I did it for you.
For me?
And for what I thought was best for this company. Chairman of the board took me to dinner, and we had all this talk about the economy, how scarce money is.
And that's exactly why I...
Well, you know where that kind of talk leads. Where can we cut? And so old man Sullivan said, cut out the research department.
My department?
And do what, I asked. And he said, well, we can subscribe to outside services and get the same
No, but they
information.
can't get the same information, the same analysis.
Well, yeah, that's what it took me the better part of 5 hours to hammer into his skull. Well, anyhow, you're safe for at least a year. But, Stanley, you watch every dollar.
Okay, Stanley. Your turn. Hey, old buddy. You still have the eye, all 6 in the bullseye.
Just lucky, I guess. Hey, I see you have a new revolver, Frank.
Yeah, I picked me up a .357 Magnum.
Oh, that's a lot of gun.
Well, that's my motto. If you're going to have something, have a lot of it.
Yeah, but that's the kind of gun you use to kill people.
Well, that .38 of yours isn't exactly a little kid's water pistol either. Come on, let's go somewhere and have a drink, huh?
I have to be getting home.
No. You come with me. I have a serious matter to discuss. You know, Stanley, the only place I ever run into you these days is the pistol range. It's the only thing you haven't given up.
Ah, what are you talking about?
Well, nobody sees you anymore. You're never at the club for golf or tennis.
I've been busy.
Cora May says you and Gladys keep turning us down for dinner.
Well, we've had a lot of other things that are...
No, that's not the reason. You don't go out because you can't afford to return the hospitality.
Now, that's
the truth. And I've known it for a long time.
What? What do you think you know?
I know all the signs. I've been there myself. It's because there's no money. Now, suddenly your running expenses are draining you dry, and, well, you wonder how you'll ever...
Oh, it's the times, these crazy, twisted times.
Still, we've got to live in these times. They're the only ones we'll ever have.
I have to have some more money. Maybe I can take on another job or something.
Where? And will Delavan and Company take kindly to the head of their research department moonlighting? How would it look?
I don't know what to do, Frank. And Gladys, it'll kill her if it keeps up. No, you may laugh at that.
I'm not laughing.
She can't help the way she was brought up. And to me, it was so great that someone like her could fall for me. And you can laugh at that, too.
It isn't funny.
Sure, okay, we won't starve or even come close, but she can't have all the things she always took for granted. I mean, well, maybe it's wrong of her, maybe it's vanity, but, well, that's how she is.
I understand.
And then she won't leave me. And she'll always feel that I failed her, and I have.
Stanley, quit beating your breast and do something positive.
I tried. I was going to ask for a raise. Did Chris sense it? Did he finesse me? If it was a bluff, I just couldn't call it.
Look at me, Stanley. Now, I don't make as much money as you, and I've got just about the same expenses, okay? Well, I just bought myself this suit for 280 smackers. The car outside is brand new, and you know it's not cheap. Now, this summer, we spent a whole month in Europe. How do I do it?
You're in debt up to your ears.
No, not even for a nickel. Guess again.
You sold your soul to the devil.
Well,
what?
It's not a completely ridiculous answer.
What do you mean it's not a completely ridiculous answer?
There could be some truth to it.
Well, now I don't know what to say.
Well, you're on the right track.
Well, if that's the right track, that's as far as I want to go.
Suppose you could make yourself an extra $10,000 a year.
Doing what?
Tax-free.
Who would I have to kill?
I don't know. Yet.
What kind of an answer is that?
A truthful one.
Frank, do you know what you're saying?
Yes.
You're saying I would have to kill somebody.
That's right. Somebody who is, as yet, unknown.
But why would I want to kill anybody?
For money.
Oh, no.
You mean you'd do it for nothing?
I wouldn't do it at all.
That's what I had to find out.
Frank, hey, do you mean you're tied up with... You're involved... That you killed people?
Yes.
Yes. You sit there and you say yes so calmly. How can you say this to me? Aren't you afraid I'd go to the police?
No. In the first place, you're my oldest, closest friend. And I've taken you into my confidence.
Yeah, but this has to do with murder.
In the second place, what could you go to the police with? What could you prove? And in the third place, after you think this over, you'll want to know more about it.
Oh, no, Frank. I know too much right now. And I don't want to hear one more word.
Okay, Stanley. I won't say one more word. Until you ask me. And so the seed has been planted. How like a growing thing a story is. In the first act, we plant the seed. In the second, we cultivate and water the soil. And in the third, we harvest the crop. What we don't know at this point is what kind of seed has just been planted. But something may start to flower when I return in just a few moments with Act 2.
Oh, I thought I saw a putty cat. I did see a putty cat.
Hi, I'm Mel Blanc, and that's another of my 1,000 voices. And that's why they asked me to tell you about lemon mint Listerine lozenges. Because when your throat is hot and dry from a cold, they make it feel cool and soothed. And Listerine's anesthetic medicine helps give fast, temporary relief from minor sore throat pain. Lemon mint Listerine lozenges. No matter how many voices you've got, you've only got one throat.
So you get Listerine lozenges, folks.
Use only as directed.
Well, good old Uncle Sam has done it again. If you know anybody on Social Security, listen to this. People who get Social Security checks will never again have to worry about them being late, or lost, or stolen. If you just fill out a simple form at the Lincoln Savings Bank, Uncle Sam will automatically deposit your Social Security check directly into your account at the Lincoln every month. No more waiting around for it to come, no more lost or stolen checks, no more standing in line to cash them. Every month, the day your check is due, the money is there in your account at the Lincoln, waiting for you to collect it or write payment orders the way you write ordinary checks or earning interest for you in a Lincoln savings account. Uncle Sam and the Lincoln do it all automatically. You don't have to do anything except fill out one form at any Lincoln branch or telephone 782-6000 and the Lincoln will mail it to you. The Lincoln Savings Bank, 782-6000. Member FDIC.
Tomorrow morning, listen to Rambling with Gambling, the program with all the degrees. There's Fahrenheit, Celsius, and there are some others, too. Dr. John Gambling here, inviting you to join me and the other doctor, Dr. Bob Harris, along with Peter Roberts, Jack Allen, Harry Hennessy, Henry Gladstone, Walter Spencer, George Meade, Fred Feldman, and the whole crew here in Studio 2. For our daily seminars over WOR Radio from 5 till 10 in the morning. Now, what courses would you like to take? We have music, news, sports, weather, traffic information, a little bit of alleged humor now and again, and just about everything else to start your morning right. That's Rambling with Gambling, daily, 5 till 10 in the morning here at WOR Radio, the talk of New York.
What's a country fresh flavor like Newco doing in a city like New York?
Newco's bringing country to the city. Newco's got that country fresh taste. Newco's bringing country to the city. Yeah. Newco puts a smile on your face.
Heck, I'm a big city now, but it wasn't always that way. I sure used to miss that back-home country fresh taste of just fixed peas and carrots, corn and beans. Oh, my. But then Elsie Sue, she's really big city. She put me on to Newco margarine. It comes in both thick and soft forms, you know, and Nuco's got a real country fresh taste that makes anything you put it on taste country good. So now it's Elsie, me, and Nuco margarine. We're in the big city to stay.
Nuco's bringing country to the city, yeah. Nuco puts a smile on your face.
According to statistics, the majority of all arguments between husbands and wives are about money. Does this mean they don't have disagreements about other things? No. It only means they don't have long, drawn-out arguments about them. Money. They say it doesn't buy happiness. I suppose that all depends on what you mean by happiness.
Is that you, Stanley?
Yes, I'm home.
Hi.
What smells?
Oh, it's dinner. I'm afraid I burned it.
You burned it? Did you make dinner?
Of course.
What happened to Mrs. Soames?
Oh, well, I had to let her go.
You let her go?
We have to save money, don't we?
Yes, but you can't even boil water.
Well, I'll have to learn.
Look, Gladys,
Stanley, for the past few months, you've been telling me how terribly tight money has become. Now, is it true?
Well, yes.
The club, Judy's private school, the extra car, the boat, Mrs. Soames. We simply cannot afford all of those things anymore. Can we?
Well, it has to do with this inflationary period. Perhaps soon things will become normal.
And perhaps they won't. Perhaps this will become the new normal. Since you are unwilling or unable to make more money, all of this is merely idle chatter. Sit still, I'll get it. Hello? Yes, Coroner. Oh, fine. Tuesday night for dinner.
Tell her we'll be back.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. We're tied up on Tuesday.
I said tell her we'll make it.
Oh, I'd love to play Cora May, but I'm afraid this week is out. I seem to have developed a tennis elbow. But we'll get together. Let me call you. Right. Bye.
I said to tell her we'd accept that invitation.
I am not accepting any hospitality I cannot afford to return.
And you go out and play tennis and golf.
Stanley, what are you saying?
I'm saying I have killed myself these past 20 years so that I could enjoy some decent living. Well, nobody's going to take it away from me. Well, Frank, dessert?
No, I don't want any dessert, and I don't want another cup of coffee or a liqueur. And we're the only ones left in the joint, so if you're ready to go, I am.
Frank, how can I make that extra 10 grand a year?
Well, actually, it could be much more than 10 grand. Lately, it seems there's quite a bit of work.
Just tell me how.
The underworld, the mob, the syndicate, call it whatever you want. They're getting away more and more from using their own people as executioners.
Oh, good Lord. What kind of conversation am I having?
We can stop anytime.
All right, let's stop. No. Go ahead.
And so, now, the trend is to look for respectable folk to do the job. People who would never be suspected. Look at me. An editor for a trade magazine. Now, who would ever suspect me? Look at you. A research analyst from a brokerage house. Who would suspect you?
It's this dealing with gangsters that scares me off.
You're not dealing with gangsters. This is a small, private outfit, created to fill a specific need.
But still...
And their clientele isn't restricted to the underworld. You'd be absolutely amazed how many law-abiding, reputable, upright people require this kind of service. There are times, it's unfortunate but true, when a well-placed bullet is the only solution to a problem.
But it's murder.
Yes.
I never killed anybody. The commandment says, thou shalt not kill.
You never killed anybody in Korea?
Oh, that was different.
Killing is killing.
But your conscience.
Each contract is worth between $2,500 and $3,000.
I thought it would pay a good deal more.
It does in real value when you consider it's tax-free. And you might do 5, 6, even 7 a year. No more money problems.
suppose you get caught.
How can you get caught? Why should anyone even suspect you?
Maybe I'll try it once.
No. No, you can't try it to see if you like it. Once you're on board, you can't get off the ship.
Oh.
You can understand why.
Yeah.
Well, now you have to make the next move, Stanley.
Frank, I've been on the straight and narrow all my life.
I'll testify to that.
Nobody worked harder than I did.
That's a fact.
But I'm just not making out anymore. All of a sudden, I look around, I've gone through all my savings, and for what? Just to keep my head above water.
I've been through the same thing, Stanley.
Maybe my wife is vain, but that's her right. Maybe some people would look at me and say, he wants the frivolous things of this world.
How much longer do you need to talk yourself into it?
Where do I go?
You don't go anywhere. He comes to you.
Yes?
Oh, good evening. You must be Mrs. Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Mr. Aykroyd. I'm sorry to disturb you at home, but I have some contracts to discuss with Mr. Morrison.
Oh, well, please come in. Stanley, a gentleman to see you. Won't you sit down, Mr. Aykroyd?
Oh, thank you.
Who rang the bell, Gladys?
Mr. Morrison, my name is Aykroyd. A mutual friend suggested that we might do some business.
Oh?
Isn't that wonderful, Stanley? What business are you in, Mr. Aykroyd?
The removal business?
Oh, yes, I remember you, Mr. Aykroyd, and I have the pertinent information in my desk. Could you excuse us, darling?
Oh, certainly. And let me know if you gentlemen would like some refreshment.
Oh, that's so kind of you, Mrs. Morrison.
This way, Mr. Aykroyd.
Our mutual friend speaks highly of you, Mr. Morrison.
Well, I
have a contract for you. You must memorize all the details. All contracts are verbal. You can understand why. The gentleman's name is Everett Marshall. At this point, it's best you don't know who he is or what he does or why someone has purchased a contract for him.
Well, then how am I supposed to know?
The right man? We'll handle that detail for you. You have your own weapon. I've been assured it's in excellent condition and that you're an expert in its use. You'll be on the northwest corner of Garfield and 3rd tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock sharp. Nervousness is perfectly normal. The first time.
I'm not sure I can go through with it.
But you can. You must. Oh, this envelope is for you.
What's in it?
Your fee. $2,500. Take it.
But
we pay in advance.
$2,500.
All for you. Well, till tomorrow.
Oh, Mr. Aykroyd, may I offer you something to drink?
Oh, thank you. I'm afraid I have a pressing engagement.
Well, another time, then.
Oh, it must be the Boston Symphony. An unbelievably lucid blend of brass and string.
Yes, it is.
Well, good night.
Night. You know, Stanley, he's such a nice man.
Ah, Mr. Morrison, on time. Good side. Join me? Now then, in just a few moments, your client, Mr. Everett Marshall, will emerge from that building across the street. He's a tall, stout gentleman. There he is. He has that blonde girl on his arm. See them?
Yes.
They're headed for the cafe just up the block. And take this key. It will let you into the building. Walk up the stairs. Do not take the elevator. To the second floor. First on your right, you'll see the number 215. Open the door with the same key. Go into the office and wait for him.
What do you mean, wait for him?
In 5 minutes, he shall receive a telephone call, and he will come back to the office. As soon as he is inside, shoot him.
Shoot him?
Don't hesitate.
But Suppose someone in the building happens to...
There is absolutely no one in that building at this time. After you shoot him, take the stairway at the other end of the hall. It leads to an alleyway around the corner.
But what if he brings her, the girl, with him?
He won't. No, you'd better be on your way. You have less than 3 minutes. And afterward, get rid of the revolver. Take it apart and toss it into the bay.
Arthur, what's the big idea asking me to get something out of the... Hey, who are you? No! Don't! No! No!
More coffee, darling?
I have to run.
Well, I know my coffee isn't much good, but is it that bad?
It's awful. Has Mr. Soames found another job yet?
I don't think so.
Ask her to come back.
But can we afford her? I mean, what about the money?
Darling, don't worry about the money. It narrows your mouth and puts lines in your face.
But I thought we were having trouble making ends meet.
Well, they met finally. Anything in the morning paper?
Oh, the usual murder stories on the front page. A gentleman named Everett Marshall was found shot to death in his office last night.
Is that so? By whom?
Police think it was a burglar.
Morning, everybody. The door was open. I walked
Well,
in.
good morning, Frank. Coffee?
No, thanks. Stanley, you want to lift downtown?
Thanks.
Hey, what mischief are you boys up to this morning?
Mischief?
Well, a beautiful day like this, you might decide to play hooky and go to the club.
Oh, no. We don't do frivolous things together anymore. Stanley and I, we've become very serious people.
I'll bet.
Well, I see by the papers it went very well.
Oh, yes.
I thought I'd come by this morning because, I was very nervous after my first one. Maybe you'd need a lift.
I'm all right.
Well, that's good.
I don't know why. When I went up to that man's office, I was convinced I wouldn't be able to kill him. When I walked in that door and he saw me and the gun in my hand, I could look into his eyes. I could see my whole life in his eyes as if we're a motion picture screen.
You shouldn't think about these things.
And he said, "No, don't." And I just aimed at the top button of his jacket as if I were shooting on the range. And I squeezed the trigger twice, and he fell. He was dead. And I simply walked out of that room, down that hall, down those stairs, into the street, over to the bay, got rid of the .38, and here I am. And I don't feel one tiny twinge of remorse. Frank, what happened?
To what?
To 40 years of education, of indoctrination, of belief in the value of human life, of right and wrong, all the things we profess to believe in.
I don't know.
Do they get swept aside in the first storm? Frank, what happened to my conscience? Where is it, my conscience?
There's no explanation, Stanley.
Why am I so untroubled, so serene, so much at peace with myself? Is it possible that when we murder another human being, we also murder our own conscience? Because I tell you, Frank, mine is dead. What do you think?
Maybe you're right.
How's yours?
My conscience?
Yes.
Mine's dead, too.
As the poet said, conscience doth make cowards of us all. He's usually right, but perhaps Stanley and Frank are the exceptions that prove the rule. Well, it's an interesting problem. Can you kill a conscience? Or put it this way, in killing your conscience, what else do you kill? These questions require a third act for their solution, and I shall return in just a... Is it a veneer, our morality?
our code of ethics? This problem has occupied the attention of scholars throughout the ages. How deeply are we committed to the values we profess so vehemently in public? Some say man is basically evil, and some say man is basically good. And perhaps neither side is completely right or completely wrong.
Darling? I'm afraid I'm overdrawn at the bank.
I know.
You know?
Yes. Jack Carstairs has orders to call me when that happens, and I make the adjustment.
But, darling, I really should try to be more careful.
No. For you to be more careful with money would require too much time and effort. Why'd you turn off the music?
Because I want to tell you how much I love you.
Happy?
I'm deliriously happy.
I don't want you to have a worry in the world.
Stanley, why is it that suddenly we have no more money worries?
Dear, it all has to do with judicious management.
Oh, how right you are. Judicious management. That's what Daddy used to say.
No, he used to say prudent management.
Oh, same thing. You know, darling, you look marvelous. You look so young, so happy, so, well, I can't really explain it. Exhilarated, as if you were having the time of your life.
Well, I am. Hello.
Hello, Stanley.
Oh, yes?
Stanley, would it be convenient to meet me at the Cafe Charleston on 9th and Dewey, say in 45 minutes?
Certainly.
Thank you, Stanley.
Darling, was that very nice gentleman, I can't remember his name, the one who loves Mozart?
Your envelope, Stanley.
Thank you.
You'll find it contains $3,500. Your rating has gone up. From now on, this is your fee. Your client is a woman.
A woman?
Should that make a difference?
Well,
Women have been agitating for equality, haven't they?
What did she do?
Does it matter?
No, but
The very cornerstone of our philosophy is complete disassociation from our clients.
I understand.
Your only contact with your client comes at the very end of his life. And then, only for a brief moment.
It's just that a woman...
Should it matter?
All right. Where do I go?
Her name is Alma Watson.
Coming, honey, coming. Hi, Reggie. Oh, I thought you were,
Miss Alma Watson?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're Alma Watson?
Sure, I'm sure.
It wouldn't do for me to make a mistake.
The man's name is Paul Terry. His name is Jerome Kelly. He's hiding out in a little motel. Your classification's gone up, Stanley. You're a $5,000 man now.
Chris, got a minute?
Oh, hi, Stanley. Look, I'm swamped. Can it wait?
No, Chris, it can't wait. You want me to continue here?
What a question.
I want a 25% raise.
Oh, now, Stanley, you know the facts of life around here.
I'll quit.
You'll what?
Take it or leave it.
But, Stanley, you know how Sullivan feels.
I only know what you tell me, Chris.
Now, see here, Stanley.
You can't get rid of me, and you know it. 25%.
Well, that's a lot of money.
Just for the rest of the year. After January 1, it goes to 30.
Well, Stanley, we have to talk about this.
I'm swamped with work, Chris. Besides, what's there to talk about? I said take it or leave it. That phony. He's been making himself look good at my expense. I never had the guts to stand up to him before. But you know something, Frank? Since I've taken on this sideline...
How about another round?
No, I had enough. As I was saying, since we've been engaged in our new activity, I'm another person.
I'll have another one.
I think you had enough, too.
Charlie, make it a double.
A double? You know, I'm not afraid of anybody or anything. Maybe that's what we're all about. You know what I mean?
No.
But maybe man is basically a hunting animal. Maybe we try to obscure that with a veneer of civilization.
You think so?
Well, look at how quickly we pierce that veneer.
Maybe we do, maybe we don't.
When we get down to it, what's it all about? Security.
Security?
What I define as my security, my home, my woman, my child, my property, I'll kill for it. Each man defines what security means to him. And each man will kill for it. End of speech.
Stanley.
What's the matter, Frank?
I don't know.
You've been putting away a good deal of that booze, pal.
I know, and it doesn't help.
Well, what did booze ever help? And what help do you need?
Stanley, I want to get out.
Get out of what?
You know what?
Frank.
I can't sleep. I see people's faces. You know which people I mean.
Frank, if you'd stop drinking...
Have you seen any faces yet, Stanley?
Of course not.
You will. You will. Remember that day, that first day? Oh, good Lord, how I wish I'd never gotten you into it.
Are you crazy? You've solved all my problems.
You wanted to know what happens to your conscience? Huh? We thought maybe you kill it. You don't. It just goes to sleep. And all of a sudden, it wakes up.
Well, regardless, Frank, we have a practical problem. You simply don't quit. Does Aykroyd suspect?
I'm sure he does. I begged off the last couple of assignments. Claimed I was sick. I can't keep it up forever.
Can you arrange to go away for a while? Get some rest. You'll see things differently.
Do you know what I keep seeing in front of my eyes? Don't laugh. No, big letters of fire. And they say, "Thou shalt not kill."
Oh, Frank, get hold of yourself.
I'll try. I'll try.
You'll be all right.
Here's your envelope.
Thank you.
It will be necessary to violate our basic philosophy just somewhat in this particular case. But then, rules were made to be broken. Oh, here we are.
Oh, wait, this is the building. This is the building of the publishing company where...
And here he comes now.
Frank.
He's going around the corner to the parking lot where it's dark and deserted. Follow him there. Kill him.
But he's
your client.
I can't kill Frank.
Why not? Stanley, Frank is being killed for just this very reason. He refused to accept a contract. Now go to the parking lot and shoot him.
No.
What's to be gained by your refusal? Someone else will be assigned to kill him. And to kill you, too.
I wish I'd never gotten into this.
Well, that's not true. The rewards have been spectacular.
But, Frank...
And if it is true, shouldn't you be eager to kill Frank? After all, he's the one who did get you into it. Quickly, Stanley, before it's too late. Stanley? Is that you?
Yes.
What are you doing here? Oh, I see. Well, go ahead. I don't care. It has to happen. It may as well be you as anyone else. Oh, don't stand there. Do it. You know you're supposed to do it right away. Don't wait. Don't delay. Just pull the trigger and walk away.
I can't.
You've got to. You can't save me. No one can save me. I don't want to be saved anyhow.
When you see the faces, do you hear the voices, too?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm hearing them. When do you stop hearing them?
I don't know.
When do you stop seeing them?
I guess when you're dead.
Is this how it happened to you?
You better kill me. Before it's too late for you.
It's too late for me now.
I don't have a chance. Try to save yourself.
No, I'll never lose those voices, the faces. Look, have you got your gun?
Yeah, in the glove compartment.
Let's kill him.
Who?
Aykroyd.
We'll never get away with it.
Does that matter? Come on, buddy. He's in that car, all alone.
No, he's not alone. You see that car across the street? He's got some people in it. Maybe he felt he couldn't trust you.
Stanley, I know it's a difficult assignment, but it has to be done. Stanley, you can't get away. The block is surrounded. Now, you just do what's necessary, and everything will be fine.
I can hit him from here.
Stanley, I don't care anymore. Save yourself.
That's just what I'm trying to do. Save myself.
Stanley, let me hear it.
Yeah, I'll let you hear it.
Don't shoot him, Stanley. It won't help.
Shut up. It's not an easy shot. Now. Got him.
Let's try to get out of here. They're shooting at us.
Frank, I don't hear the voices anymore. I don't see the faces. Do you?
No.
Frank! Oh! Frank!
The newspapers, the authorities, none of them knew what you and I know. There was a gunfight on the street between two respectable citizens and a group of people, some of whom are known criminals. The story the police seem inclined to believe is that a bank was about to be burglarized when Mr. Stanley Morrison and Mr. Frank Smith happened along and decided to perform their citizenly duties. Both men died heroes' deaths, and they will be honored at special funeral services. I shall return shortly. The human conscience, certainly the most elusive component in man's makeup. It may slumber for years and awake without warning. Our cast included Howard Da Silva, Joan Lovejoy, Bob Caliban, and Robert Dryden. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Listerine lozenges and Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, commuter between this world of the mundane and the other world of the macabre. Although, frankly, I find it harder and harder to tell them apart. We look at oil, that surging, volatile liquid which fires the machinery of our complex civilization. We look at it with increasing anxiety, because we know that sooner or later it must run out. And then what? Well, it isn't exactly a new situation. There was a time in the past when the human race had almost used up practically all the oil there was. Our mystery drama, The Lamps of the Devil, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Christopher Tabori. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Luden's Medicated Cough Drops. I'll be back shortly with Act One. It happens after every war. The boys come back to another world, a different world, a world that has in many ways passed them by, and they see the world divided into two camps. Those who went away and fought, and those who stayed home and got rich. In 1865, the long and bloody Civil War was over, and Lieutenant Noah Arkwright, who served with distinction in the United States Navy, came home to a seaport town in Massachusetts.
Noah!
Yes, it's Noah. Your Noah. Home from the war. Not a hole, not a scratch, fit as a fiddle, spry as a colt. And where's my kiss?
No, Noah.
Where's my hero's welcome? See my medal? This ain't just a hunk of tin hanging by a rag. No, ma'am. This was personally pinned on my broad chest by Admiral Farragut himself, the Commander-in-Chief.
Noah.
That's right, my darling. My name is Noah, and your name is Prudence. And we must go inside your father's house where you may sit yourself down from the shock of seeing your beloved. Oh, Prudence. Prudence, you're prettier than ever.
Noah, you never wrote.
What was there to write? Except I love you. And you already knew that. Let's have a small wedding.
Noah, listen.
And you will sail with me. Here's one whaling captain that's going to take his wife on all his voyages.
Noah, listen. I'm a married woman.
The captain's cabin shall be more than just... You're what?
I'm a married woman, Noah. You never wrote. How was I to know if you were alive or dead? You were gone 4 years. Noah.
Night after night, at sea, in the darkness. I was never alone. You were always with me.
Please, Noah.
Please, Noah, what?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
You have to understand. Time passes. People change.
Prue, I thought I heard voices in here. Who is this?
George, I would like to present an old friend, Lieutenant Noah Arkwright. Noah, my husband, George.
This fish-eye.
Noah.
This is your husband. You threw me over for this pot. I warn you, sir. Oh, I'll bet he's rich.
Please, Noah, I know how you feel.
No, Mrs. Married Lady Prudence. You do not know how I feel. Sir, I must ask you to leave this house. In what outfit did you serve our country, Mr. Husband?
George served our country on the home front.
Oh, at no loss to himself, I'll wager. Shall you leave, sir, or shall I throw you out? Are you giving me a choice?
Please, Noah.
Throw me out. Prudence, we shall have to send for the sheriff. And let me give you some good reasons to send for the sheriff.
No.
Oh, there's one. And there's another.
No, this won't change anything.
He's all yours. Noah, I heard you were back. Mr. Fallowfield, I just seen the Betty Lee. She's going to ruin.
I know.
She's just rotting away in the harbor.
I know. She ain't put to sea in over 5 years.
She has to be refitted.
Refitted?
And do I have plans? Ever since you told me I would be her skipper. Oh, I know every timber in her body, every spar, every brace. Here's what I think we should do.
Noah, I ain't never gonna refit the Betty Lee.
What are you saying, Mr. Fallowfield?
Well, I'm saying it don't pay.
Oh, but if you buy a new ship, you don't know what you're getting. Whereas with the Betty Lee, you see...
Well, it don't pay to refit the Betty Lee. The reason is because I ain't no longer in the whale oil business.
You're not in the... What do you mean you're not in the whale oil business? Why?
Because that don't pay neither.
You, Jonathan Fallowfield, you're not sending out the whale ships anymore.
Son, it's over.
Over? What do you mean over? How can it be over? What are folks going to do for oil, for candles, for lamps?
Well, this new stuff's cheaper. This petroleum.
Oh, no. It's filthy. It's dirty. It's only fit to light the lamps of the devil.
And it's come at just the right time. You see, the whales are practically give out.
No, I can take it to where there are thousands of whales.
There are no thousands of whales nowhere, not anymore. You hunt any animal long enough, hard enough, the way we did. One day, you wake up, and you see they've been hunted out. We'd have been in trouble, son, but they come across this petroleum.
Oh, I tell you, it won't work.
Well, it's what folks are going to use for oil.
Never.
Guess it's hard for you, son. You've been through a war and all. Now you come home, find it just ain't the same home you left.
You promised me the Betty Lee.
Well, there she is now, lying on the beach. You want her? Take her.
I will.
But first, ask yourself, where you get the money to fix her up, fit her out?
You mean I can't raise money for a whaling voyage here, in this town, We're the whaling capital of the whole blamed world.
Well, maybe we used to be.
What do you mean, used to be?
Well, son, I've been patiently trying to tell you the days of the whaling trade are over.
Not for me. I guess we don't have anything more to talk about, do we?
It's hard for you, Noah. You've been through a bad time, the war and all. And now you come home. Ain't the same home you left.
It sure isn't. Mr. Fallowfield, I can't say it's been a pleasure. Good day to you.
Noah, let me give you a piece of advice.
Free of charge, I hope.
The world goes on, son. And when something better, cheaper, easier comes along, you make sure you get aboard. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to get left.
Thank you, Mr. Fallowfield. What'd you do with the bottle, landlady?
Now, ain't you had enough?
Yes, I had enough. But that's no reason to stop, is it?
Well, this won't cure what ails you.
Since when, Mrs. Pulford, are you giving temperance lectures? If you disapprove of the demon rum, why do you sell it?
But the thing is, I'm used to selling to grown men. Not to little boys. They ain't dry behind the ears.
I was decorated by Admiral David Glasgow Farragut himself. It isn't generally known his middle name's Glasgow.
Noah.
He's of Scottish ancestry, I believe.
Noah, listen.
You think it means anything to people in this town?
No, that's just what I want.
15 cents. On a business proposition that can't fail. It simply cannot fail.
What you have to realize, Noah, is that...
See, I know where the whales are. I know how to get them. But I can't raise 15 cents. For all I got the highest decoration this government can give a man.
Are you through feeling sorry for yourself?
Who's feeling sorry for
You are. You feel your country don't appreciate what you did.
It sure doesn't.
Of course not. That's the way it goes. Nothing's too good for the boys when they leave for the war. But nothing's too bad for them when they come home.
And that's right.
No! But you ain't gonna sit here and drink it right neither. Truth is, everybody's sick of the war and everybody in it. Just want to forget.
I know a certain girl who managed to forget. Mrs. Pulford. What did she see in him anyhow?
Now, don't be too hard on her, Noah. It's like you see in the theater. Her dad's business come upon hard times, and this George Marcy's got all kinds of money.
And what am I supposed to do now?
Find something.
What? Whalen's gone busted.
Oh, and good riddance.
How can you say that? It's been the bread and butter of this town.
It's been the bread of shame. Maybe now we can find a cargo that's proper and decent.
Mrs. Pulford, have you been sampling too much of your old refreshment?
And for once to have our ships engaged in a trade that ain't based on the misery of helpless creatures.
I wish I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, them magnificent living creatures, them beautiful animals, children of God, just like you and me. Who gave us the right to slaughter them?
Oh, now, well, after all, Mrs. Pulford...
You come upon this unsuspecting animal, and you jam a harpoon into him. And then you wait for him to thrash himself to death. And then you just strip him.
Well, now, I notice you wearing a corset, Mrs. Pulford, and it's made of baleen, the bone in a whale's mouth. What'll you ladies do?
We'll learn to do without. It ain't worth the suffering of an innocent animal.
I don't know if, now, strictly speaking, a whale suffers. They don't have feelings.
Well, that's what you tell yourself to satisfy your conscience.
Oh, we had to kill them.
Why?
For oil. Oil to light the lamps of the world.
Well, you don't have to kill them no more. You don't need whale oil.
Oh, who says we don't?
Because now you got petroleum.
Did anyone say petroleum? Has someone uttered that abomination? Petroleum, a witch's brew for the satanic rebels, created by the tools of the devil himself. Fire and smoke. At night, the tortured fields of Pennsylvania are made bright as day by the raging flames of hell.
Now, that's enough, Satan.
Enough for you, madam. But I speak for the hundreds, the thousands of seafaring men whose livelihood has
Satan,
been...
you be quiet, or you just get out.
Have a glass with me, Mr. Peyton. Here.
Oh, the two of you. Oh, you'll make a fine pair.
Why, what nonsense. Has she been filling your head with, Noah?
Oh, nothing much.
About the whales. The poor, innocent whales.
Yeah, well.
No, my boy. Every creature was placed on this earth by God. Is that true?
Yes.
And every creature has its appointed task and function.
True.
Now, if God didn't intend for us to use the oil of the whale, why did he give the whale so much of it? You see, boy, we were only doing the Lord's work by taking the whales.
Well, those days are over.
Who says so?
Everybody.
Who's everybody? Them fat-bellied profiteers who stayed home while you and me half bled to death in combat?
Well, I didn't bleed much. And from what I see, you look pretty healthy, too.
I'm not near as healthy as a fellow named George Marcy, who married a girl that I believe was your fiancée.
Mr. Peyton, what you say is true. But still in all, there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, yes, there is. There's a great deal we can do about it.
Really? Tell me.
Well, now, Noah, I can't tell you here.
Why not?
And I can't tell you at all. Unless you swear on your life not to breathe a word of it.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that there are men who just aren't willing to sit around in grog shops and drown their sorrows. It means that there are men who are willing to fight.
Fight? How? Against what?
Fight to the death against this devil's brew, this petroleum. Now, you want to join us?
Noah Arkwright looked forward to the end of the war, to a cessation of the fighting. And here he is offered a brand new battle against a completely different foe. We'll see just what this new type of warfare consists of, and whether or not Noah decides to enlist when I return with Act 2. You can't stop the wheels of progress, or so they say. But you can throw a monkey wrench into them, or more accurately, a shoe, which is what working people in France tried to do more than 100 years ago when they were losing their jobs to machines. They tossed their wooden shoes, their sabots, from which we get the word sabotage. But what can you do to petroleum?
Join in what, Mr. Peyton?
Join us in fighting for your job, and the job of every whaling man in this town, and all along the coast. We're all brothers.
I've heard talk, but no hard facts.
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
To a meeting.
What kind of a meeting?
A meeting of good fellas who believe the way we do.
How do you know what I believe?
Now, you're an honest man, Noah, which means you have to believe our way. See who's here? Men you grew up with, men you sailed with, men you went to war with.
What is everybody doing here? Assembled on the beach?
Because it's a symbol, Noah. It's where we are. On the beach. Out of work. Unemployed. Starving. And why? Petroleum. Men! Men! Let's begin the meeting. I see twice as many men here tonight as last week. That's because each of us must have kept his promise to bring another brother. I brought mine. He's well known to all of you. Noah Arkwright, first mate of the Betty Lee when she was a whaler. Boys, hold it down now. Noah, for you and all the newcomers tonight, let me explain why we are organized. We're out to restore our profession.
You keep saying that. But how?
By destroying petroleum.
How?
Hold it, boys, hold it. We're going to fight it every way we know, with everything we've got. Now, there are rumors
A ship is going to sail from here to the port of Philadelphia and bring back a cargo of petroleum. Are we going to let them land it? No!
But how are you going to stop it?
Dump it overboard!
Oh, you can't do that.
Who says so?
It's against the law. And we have no right to break the law.
Yeah, that's how cowards talk.
You men, you all know me. Listen, the law was what all of us were fighting to uphold all the time we were in the war.
It's not our law.
This petroleum, who knows anything about it? How much there is? Now, we know whale oil's better. We know people have to come to their senses sooner or later.
Are you for us or against us?
I'm going back to town.
All right, Noah, go ahead. Crawl back to town on your belly. Beg somebody for a job. Plead on bended knee. We don't need you here. This is a place for men.
Well, I hear you didn't go along with the boys last night, Noah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mrs. Pulford.
About dumping petroleum in the harbor.
And here I thought it was a secret.
How can you have a secret if nobody knows how to keep his mouth shut?
I don't think it will ever happen.
You don't?
No. Just angry men letting off steam.
Desperate men, Noah. You ain't been home long enough.
Is that why she married him? Because her father needed money.
Oh, I see. That's what's bothering you. Oh, I suppose. Anyhow, it's the story around town. Oh, you should be getting over her.
Sure. How?
Find yourself another gal. Plenty of good-looking young ladies around. Some of them rich, too.
Leading the idle life of a rich man's son-in-law has no charms for me, Mrs. Pulford.
Well, who says you have to be idle? You could get a berth on a ship.
Where?
Well, most anywhere. It's a steamship.
Oh, no.
Are you going to be like the rest of these fellas? Too proud to go on anything but sail?
Sail's the only way.
Now, how can you say that? You were on a steam battleship.
Oh, but steam can never replace sail for the merchant navy.
Why not?
It's not practical. You've got to carry so much coal to feed those engines. You got almost no room left for cargo.
Oh, now I've heard it all. Steam ain't practical. Petroleum won't work. A mast and a sail and the oil of a whale. Is that all there is for you?
Whales. You've got to understand, Mrs. Pulford. Whaling's been my whole life.
Oh, son. A lot of people have misspent lives. But suddenly it happens. One day, without a word of warning, and just out of nowhere, they see the light.
You see, it's you and 5 men in a small boat, and you steal up to him, so quiet. You hold your breath, because he's the biggest living thing in the world.
Proud of yourselves, huh?
You come at him from behind.
Oh, that's showing real courage.
And when you're within darting distance, say maybe 17 feet, you throw that iron.
Why are you so excited? It's like sticking a pig.
He's hooked. And now he's out of the water. He's in the air, all of him, like a mortar shell. Straight up and straight down again. And now the water is boiling as he swims and plunges this way and that, trying in vain to shake up the iron.
And all you boys are really enjoying yourselves.
And now he shoots straight ahead, pulling us along with him. It seems like you're speeding across that water faster than the speediest railroad train. And
what?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. How can a man give it up?
Are you all right, Noah?
Yes, I'm fine. I guess I'm just tired, that's all. I guess I'm just tired. Good night, Mrs. Pulford.
Get up, Noah. Wake up. You fell asleep. Well, where am I? Where are you? Boy, you mad? Where am I? Oh, you're on the Betty Lee. Betty Lee? Sure, it's the Betty Lee. I promised you the Betty Lee, didn't I? We figured her out. We're at the whale. And where they are, Babylon, Noah. And man the whale boat.
Steady, boys.
Hold her very steady.
Look, Noah, all around you. Hundreds of whales.
Thousands of whales. Oh, didn't I tell you, Mr. Pellefield? You told me right all that.
Whales.
And all of them the right whales. Whales whose bodies are thick and rich with oil. Oh, start killing. Start killing.
Now, Noah. Throw the leads. Now.
Noah, what's wrong?
Why are you just standing there, Noah?
Oh, your eyes.
Throw it. Kill him.
What's wrong? I can't.
What are you saying, boy?
He's got a look in his eyes.
His eyes?
You can't see a whale's eyes. I see the look in his eyes, and I can't kill him.
Throw that lance.
Yeah, before we lose him. Look at him. Oh, Lord, just look at this magnificent creature. How can we kill him?
Noah, boy.
Why should we kill him?
For oil, you fool.
No more. No, we want to kill him. He thinks we're friends. Look, he lets us come close. He trusts us.
If you won't throw that lance, step aside and let me.
Stand where you are. We kill no more whales.
Hand me that iron.
Never! Men, we're going to have to subdue him. He's gone crazy. And clear me. All of you.
Men, your share of the oil, your wages. Is he going to take it all from you?
Don't any men try to... Look out! We're too close. The whale! We're too close.
Look out for his tail!
He's going to kill us with that tail. Be quiet. You know he stands. Look out!
Have him with the lance.
Be quiet.
We'll all be killed.
Look out. Look out, you fools.
Noah? Noah!
Eyes. I never saw the eyes of a whale before.
Noah!
What? Huh? What? I must have
Noah!
fallen asleep. Who's there?
Noah! It's me, Mrs. Pulford.
Oh, well, come in. The door's open.
What's the matter in here, Noah?
The matter?
You've been yelling and screaming something fierce. All my other boarders have been complaining.
Oh, I must have been dreaming.
Oh, some dream. Noah, are you sure nothing happened to you during the war?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. The doctors all said so. The shrapnel just grazed my skull, that's all. It knocked me cold at the time, but I'm all right now.
Well, you look different.
How?
Well, I can't say exactly, but something seems to be gone from your face.
What?
Well, I don't know what. Maybe you don't look so angry anymore.
Angry?
Oh, you've been looking like you're mad at the whole world since you come back.
Well, I had a right.
Oh, you look different. Do you feel different?
Do I feel different? Yes. Yes, I guess maybe I do. I can't go on being mad at the world forever. Maybe going after whales is all part of a past that's dead and gone. A past I'd better forget. Well, I'd best start thinking of things to do and stop thinking of things to hate.
Oh, good. Oh, I knew I had something to tell you. The sheriff's downstairs in the tavern. He wants to talk to you.
Now, why would the sheriff want to talk to me?
Well, why don't you ask him?
What's on your mind, Sheriff?
You're on my mind, young fella.
Am I? Why?
You know why. I'm here to warn you.
Warn me about what?
You and the rest of them.
Warn me about what?
I'll have the bunch of you in jail so fast.
For doing what?
Nobody breaks the law in this town while I'm the sheriff.
What law have I broken?
The one you're gonna break. You attempt violence against the cargo of any ship in this harbor.
What right do you have to accuse me of?
I'm wise to you, to all of you. Riffraff like you.
Riffraff? Is that what we are?
Drunken, brawling, lazy.
Sheriff, you get out of here.
I'm warning you, young fella. You and the rest of them hooligans. Mind your step.
Now, Noah.
I should have knocked him down.
Noah, don't listen to him.
Why not? He's only saying what most folk think. That all of us are riff-raff hooligans. What was it all for? Why did we fight so hard and so long? Oh, we should have let Johnny Reb just take over.
No, you know you don't mean that.
Don't I? Now, this two-bit pint-sized monkey thinks he can lord it over everybody because he has a tin badge. I've been pushed around long enough. Folks here think I'm a troublemaker. I'll give them something to think about. Is Peyton here? Peyton! You around? Jim! Harry, Bob!
Any of you young fellas seen Peyton? You tell him I'm looking for him. Tell him I'm sold.
And that's how it is when one is 5 and 20. The ideas are bright and vivid, but they spring from the heart and not the head. Quick to anger, violent of temper, and eager to love or to quarrel, whichever presents itself. And so it appears that Noah has chosen sides. How the fight comes out will be detailed when I shall return with Act 3. The world goes on. It stumbles along in its own seemingly aimless fashion, despite our best efforts to turn it in our own direction. And each of us has to take what he is given, even if for some it's manifestly unfair. But here and there, some of us try to fight back. And when we lose the impossible war, we're considered crazy. But the rare few who win, those are the heroes. The question is, how will Noah Arkwright end up?
Who's there? Well,
Hello, Noah.
look who this is. Prudence. Mrs. Prudence Marcy. Or should I say, Mrs. George Marcy.
May I come in?
May I come in? And for what purpose? Is it the usual reason a lady visits a gentleman in his room very late at night?
Please, Noah. I came here to...
Yes?
I know you must hate me.
I can't say I'm filled with admiration for you, exactly.
I know how difficult things are for you just now.
Do you?
I know how many sailors are idle.
Oh, well, the fortunes of war.
I've come to offer you a job.
As what? A groom in your stables?
My husband has picked up the Betty Lee.
Oh. Is he going into the whale oil business?
George wants to send the Betty Lee to the port of Philadelphia to pick up petroleum.
Is that a fact?
Whale oil, petroleum, what difference should it make? It's oil, it burns, it lights.
And what is this supposed to mean to me?
Well, you should be captain of that ship, the Betty Lee. Nobody knows her better than you do.
You want me to be captain of the Betty Lee. And thus, in one sweep, you do a good turn to your husband and your fiancé.
Noah, I'm trying to help.
And where are my feelings? I'm a whaling man. It's in my blood. It's in my bones. Do you think I'd help destroy my own profession, betraying my own comrades?
Noah, it's over. Can't you see it? The Betty Lee will need the best skipper for this voyage, and that's you, Noah. The world goes on. People do the best they can. You can live in the past, or you can adjust to the future.
A very pretty speech.
Oh, go ahead. Spend the rest of your life feeling sorry for yourself. I thought I could help you. I see I was foolish. Goodbye, Noah.
How do you like that? I'm wrong. Well, I told her, Peyton. Oh, yes, I told her.
Now, hold on there, Noah.
Oh, yes. They want to fill those ships with that filthy mud that seeps up out of the swamps of Pennsylvania. But there's something they forgot. Who, huh? Who's going to sail those ships?
We are.
Yeah, they need us. Without us, nothing moves. What did you say?
I said, we're going to sail the Betty Lee, Noah.
We're going to cut our own throats?
Oh, no. You have to think right, boy. We want to make sure the Betty Lee gets to Philadelphia, loads on them barrels of petroleum, and comes back to this very same port.
Why?
So we can have a party.
What party?
The grand, glorious petroleum oil party, right in this harbor.
The grand, glorious petroleum oil party?
Why, Noah, we'll become another Boston.
Yes. They'll think they whipped us. But we'll bring back that petroleum and throw it in their faces.
And all you have to do is become the master of the Betty Lee.
And sign on all the boys as my crew.
Oh.
Evening, Miss Marcy.
What do you want, Noah?
Why, what's happened to good manners since I've been gone? It used to be folks in this town answer the door and say, why, come in, sit a spell.
No, please, no trouble.
Who's at the door, Prudence? Oh. What do you want?
I see bad manners are catching. Prudence, why don't you serve us up a cup of tea?
There, sir, you can't barge into my house and
I
order...
knocked at the door very politely and was admitted by the lady herself. Now to business.
I'm not interested. I must ask you to leave this house.
You're talking like a fool.
What?
Believe me, I know. I used to be a fool myself. You bought the Betty Lee. Who knows it better than I do? Who could be a better skipper for her than me?
I didn't buy her to make a whaler out of her.
What's it to me what kind of oil she carries?
There are scores, hundreds of out-of-work captains who need you.
Ask anybody in town. I'm the best captain you could hope to find for the Betty Lee. It's true. I don't like you. You don't like me. But what should that have to do with anything? Business is business.
You know, I like the way you think.
More coffee, Noah? Oh, I'd better call you Captain Noah.
Oh, no, thank you, Mrs. Pulford. It'll be the better part of 3 weeks before I have this good a breakfast again.
Noah, something's going on.
Ma'am?
Why did hotheads like Peyton and them sign on the Betty Lee?
Because they need work.
After the way they've been talking about petroleum oil?
A man talks one way when his belly's empty, and another when he sees a chance to have it full.
Well, I don't like it.
Is that not pleasing you, Mrs. Pulford? You keep arguing with me day and night to accept reality, and then when I do...
I say there's something going on.
Well, why?
I can see Peyton and his like changing their minds overnight, but not you, Noah. You got convictions that run deep. I know how you feel about whaling.
Well, maybe you succeeded in talking some sense into me, after all. Hold her steady.
Steady as she goes, Captain.
Let this wind keep favorable, and we can have our cargo back in port day after tomorrow.
Aye, in port. Not in town. The day after tomorrow, the 5th of June, 1866, a famous date in history, the grand and glorious petroleum oil party. The whole town will be there to watch us come into the harbor, but instead of tying up to the dock, we drop anchor in the middle of the harbor and start the festivities, eh? Why, Noah, you're looking serious. So serious.
It's just, well, I don't hold with violence.
Violence? Man, you had 4 years of war.
Now, that was different.
What's a man to do, Noah? What's a man to do?
Now, you're right, Peyton. You're right.
What a party that's gonna be!
Where is she? Where's that ship? She was due hours ago.
Now, George, they say there was a storm down along the coast, south of here.
Perhaps I should never have given him the ship.
George, he is the most qualified.
Prue, is that why you wanted me to make him the captain?
Yes, George.
Is it the only reason? Is it, Prudence?
Yes.
You were in love with him.
Oh, that was during another time, another life.
Then you admit.
Well, that life died. It was killed by the war the way so many others were. We can't have the things that were. We can only have the things that are.
Look there, folks. Your ship's there.
Oh, it's the Betty Lee.
The Betty Lee.
Oh, strike up the band.
Well, there she is, Noah. The whole town's turned out.
And what will happen after the party?
What happened after the Boston Tea Party? The boys all became heroes.
Oh, I wish it were that simple. Peyton, look. Look to the starboard.
Why?
Look. Am I dreaming? What do you see?
Well, Oh, it is possible.
It's a whale.
But it can't be a whale.
It can't. But look at him. Look at him spout.
It's a sign. A sign sent to us from above. On this day, the great and grand and glorious Petroleum Party Day.
Yes.
Yes, it is a sign. A sign that says, look. Look at this wonderful creature. Now he can live. Now you don't need to kill him anymore because you've been given oil from the ground.
No, boy. What are you saying?
Now, you heard what I said. It's a sign that, well, he's going home to live his life in peace. What we've gotten a hold of this ship is what we will use for oil from now on.
You crazy? Whaling is your whole life.
That life died, killed by the war.
What's going after whales is the life
of gone. Hey, we can't have the thing that was. Only the thing that is. The whale was. Petroleum is.
You backing down?
No. I'm standing up. Standing up to the truth.
Drop anchor.
I forbid it.
Men, he's a traitor. He's gone back on his word.
I'm captain of this ship.
He wants to betray us.
I want to save.
Now, don't you listen to him.
Men! Men! You saw that one whale. But look. Look beneath you in the hold of the ship. Hundreds of barrels of oil. It just came out of the ground. It never stops. It's oil. It burns. It lights.
It lights the lamps of the devil. Let's get that cargo overboard.
You will obey orders.
Not from traitors.
I'm in command here.
No more. We're taking over the ship.
Do any of your men want to mutiny? Do any of you want to hang?
Don't listen to our men. He sold us out. Come on. Let's tie him up, boys.
I'll shoot the first man who raises a hand against me.
What are we waiting for? He's all by himself.
Am I? Jim, Debbie, Harry. You've got more sense.
All right, boys, let's rush him. No. I didn't mean it. I just wanted.
Peyton, you can't do this. This crazy thing. You know you can't.
Oh, boy. Are you all right? All right, some of you men, let's get him below.
No. I might as well stay here.
We didn't want anyone to get hurt. No one was supposed to get hurt.
Someone always gets hurt when grown men act so crazy. You can't fight it. You can't fight progress. Fight that stuff that we got in the hold. You can't do it. You go on, and you do the best you can.
Oh, you'll be all right. No, you'll be all right, boy.
No, I don't want anyone to get into trouble. How it happened, well, just say that we were firing off our pistols to celebrate, and we had an accident.
No. We'll get you to a doctor.
Peyton. She blows. Oh, you see him, Peyton. Oh, he's a beauty. The biggest, rightest whale in the world. Why are we sitting here? Why don't we man the whaleboats? Peyton.
It was a tragic accident, but perhaps it served to place things in the proper perspective. How stubbornly we cling to the past, to yesterday, to the known, the tried, and the true. And then suddenly, what we have treasured so highly appears to us as only an illusion, and the bubble bursts. And we have moved away from yesterday into today, where we are already preparing to resist tomorrow. I'll be back shortly. It's becoming a blander world, isn't it? At one time, a man's job, his work, his quest for his daily bread, provided him with all the excitement and action he needed. Hunter, trapper, stage driver, river pilot. Well, we do make progress, don't we? We push pencils and press buttons for the most part. And it's more efficient. You simply cannot prevent progress. But what to do for excitement? We can fill that particular void in your life 7 times each week. Our cast included Christopher Tabori, Russell Horton, Ian Martin, and Joan Shea. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater
for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.